Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Karpo Gaming and another Marvel's Avengers video. In today's video, we are going to be showing you my Rocket's Red Glare Iron Man build. We're going to be taking full advantage of the Rockets. This build, you can solo the most highest difficulty content in the game. That's right, I'm talking about brutal difficulty. From the gameplay, you wouldn't think that this was brutal difficulty, but it is. And in the end of the video, I'm actually going to be showing you a full fight with me and the Warboard going solo with one of those faction daily missions, and yeah, absolutely obliterate them. So yeah, this build is really good. I've been working on this since day one. I've had the game early, and yeah, I've been working on this build, got everything just right, and you're going to be very surprised at how much damage we can get. Still don't believe me? Let me take out this elite aim unit right here at Stark Realities on brutal. And yeah, the allies that I have, none of them are over 50, except for Thor. He's like 59. So yeah, power levels not so much for my buddies. I'll be holding them down. As you can see, everything that I do deals damage. It's a synergy build between everything, getting everything up as high as I possibly can get. And if I have any more new pieces, of course I'm going to add to this build. But we're going to be dealing gamma damage. We're going to be dealing Karpo damage, slowing enemies down and getting all of our rockets back. So of course we're going to max out everything right here under the primary: melee, repulsors, lasers, and of course rockets. That's pretty standard, right? So everything is good to go right here. Now here's where things get a little bit special. We're going to go into specialty. Up top you can see I'm level 50, level 145 in the power level. Melee rating, range rating, heroic rating, and defense rating is pretty good, right? Okay, let's start over with the support. We have the Arc Overload. Arc Overload is going to stun enemies. You're going to get some other intrinsic stuff back already. So just follow this guide and you should be good to go. Now, the Arc Overload is not only going to stun enemies, we'll be able to perform takedowns. Every time we perform a takedown, we're going to get a health gen, right? So not only are we going to get our health back, we're going to get a health gen pack as well. And we're going to get stun damage. So we're going to be stacking stun damage with this build as well. So we're going to be getting all of our abilities up as high as possible, as you can see. Boom, we're going to go over EM amplifier right here to boost up that by 30%. So everything is intrinsically working together. Now we're going to move on to the Assault Heroic ability. Now this is going to be for our repulsor, right? Now repulsor we're not going to be really using too much, but the unibeam we're going to be using quite a bit. This is my setup for the unibeam. You saw me using it a little bit earlier, and it does a lot of damage if you set it up like this. So we're going to roll with Omega Beam for our first slot under Assault Heroic ability, and all the way to the right we're going to go with Concentrated Fire. And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to our ultimate heroic section. Alright, here's what this is going to break down. For our Hulkbuster, we are going to go with the middle trait. Why? We got that disruption pulse, right? Hulkbuster going to press R2, we're going to emit that pulse like I said, and that is going to make all of those other enemies basically fall down, and we can just get those takedowns really easy. Once again, the Magno missiles when we finishing our Hulkbuster. So that is going to be when we jump in that, but most of the time we're not even going to be using it. And then Energy Star, reduce the intrinsic energy for the Hulkbuster. Once again, all the defense is locked up once again. Make sure everybody got this down so you can come back to this build and see exactly what I have, and then you're going to be quite amazed with all of the damage that you're going to get. Alright, from here we're going to go to our mastery. Now here's where the combat comes into play. We have Stun Mastery. It's going to increase all stun damage dealt to enemies by 15%. So we're going to be stacking that stun damage. We're going to be stacking all types of damage. Alright, now the reason why we're stacking that stun damage, we're going to come back over here to our melee ability, and as you can see, this stun damage actually can be applied to a few of our abilities, our alt pulse and our power dive as well. So what we're going to do, we're going to dive down on enemies, we're going to jump back up, we're going to hit them with rockets. Whenever we need to dive down near, we're going to do some light attacks. We're going to get our intrinsic energy back, we're going to get more missiles, hop back into the air, and deal more damage. Alright, to the right, we're going to go all the way back over here under mastery, and of course we're going with ranged attack damage because we're going to be dealing ranged damage. In the middle we got takedown upgrade. We have the willpower takedown, so when we do a takedown we can spawn those regen packs. Always got to get that health back. And also when we do the pulse attack, right, it's going to stun enemies. Got extra damage there, they go down, we perform a takedown, we get our energy back, and they draw heat regen pack. So all around this is a really good build. Alright, under range we're going to go with rocket mastery. Here we got increased damage to rocket's attack by 12%. And then of course we have the rocket specialization once again for that intrinsic aiming, so we can aim down the sights and just going to track the enemies. And then we have the rockets going to intrinsically be 10% less using that ability. Under intrinsic ability we have the arc reactor kinetic atomizer. This is going to increase that intrinsic energy when you deal light damage with attacks. So like I said, we're going to dive down, we're going to dive back up, we're actually going to slow anything down due to our build, and then whenever we dive down we do some light attacks, we're going to get some of that energy back so we can get some missiles, jump back in the air and hit them with the illness. Right in the middle we have the stunning intrinsic boost. So stunning an enemy intrinsically boosts intrinsic points by 25 points, and we're going to be doing a lot of stunning, so we constantly going to be getting our energy back. Then we have overcharged defense. With this we have 20% reduction in damage from all attacks while we're overcharged, so we constantly are stacking that defense. And then last but not least, under utility we have the reactive regenerator, grants 15 intrinsic points when we're prairie. So when we are down there we have to move out the way, prairie, and get it back. And then in the middle we have tactical barrier. This is going to give us that nice energy barrier. It's going to get 50% extra critical chance, and a lot of times I forget to use this. You just pop up that barrier and a lot of your friends around you can get an extra critical boost. And then also air superiority. This is important. Increase the damage of ranged attacks while flying by 15%. You might just think it's that running attack, but no, it's all attacks. So while we're hovering in the air we're going to be doing extra damage. Now here is my build. You might be wondering why I have this one purple gear. I have plenty of other gear. I have found another piece that is better than this when it comes to raw damage. As you can see, I'm level 50, power level 146. It can be higher, but I am waiting to get the right pieces. Alright, this build is all about damage. Red rockets, red glare, and it is beautiful. For the first we have the heavyweight and vulnerability gauntlets, and it's all about right there, armor breaker. This ability is awesome. We have 14.4 increased damage from all weapons. I don't know how high I go. I have one with 13.3. This one is 14.4. That is why I have this piece. And it brings up all of my stats as well. As far as range, heroic, and defense, I have not found one that is better than this as far as legendaries. Just have it. Alright, next up we have the targeted and vulnerability buff repulsors. Here's where things get special. We have the gamma damage, we have targeting and vulnerability buff where we have a smaller chance, 27.6 when we hit an enemy we get that invulnerability buff, but the expert protection, 97.2 chance defending enemies with the weak point grants a defensive buff, and since we hit weak points with rockets we get that back quite a bit. So we definitely stacking that defense with this build for the high level content. See where we're going with this. A lot of range damage, a lot of defense, so we can do that high level content. For the chest piece we have the reflective pulse plating. With this we have reflective pulse, 20.3 chance for taking damage, grants an explosive ability, doesn't really happen that much. And we have the courageous protection, 57.9 chance for when critically injured, grant a defense buff. This actually helps a lot when we get hit by a lot of those powerful enemies, so we just don't instantly go down and wipe doing high level stuff. And last but not least, Apex Blessing Reactor. With this we have the Apex Blessing, 11% increased critical hit chance for signature attacks, which is really good. Lethal Inspiration, 6.4 chance defense. Defeating an enemy grants willpower. Doesn't happen too much. And last but not least, Rampage Protection. If we defeat 3 enemies in rapid succession, we're going to get defensive buffs too. Now, I have 2 level 140s. Now, the reason why I'm going this is, one, this ultimate heroic charge is excellent, and the lightweight endpoints 50% increased stun damage from light combo finishers. So, once again, we're stacking that damage, and here's an extra 50% for combo finishers. Now, the Nornstorm of the Fanatic is cool. We get extra resources, but this is basically to get my range rating up. All the rest of the pieces that I have doesn't come close to these two to get to where I want to be. 1430 on the defense is excellent, especially for high level content. You're going to need that defense rating up, and heroic rating is up for the critical hit damage, crit hit chance, and range attack. It all comes together for the Red Rocket Red Glare Iron Man build. That's what I'm calling it, because the rockets just be blasting, and it's amazing. You get so much damage. Like I said, I got other pieces I can easily go up as far as my power level, but for right now I'm good until I get some other higher pieces to bring these up, because I don't want my heroic rating to go down, I don't want my range rating to go down, defense rating, and melee rating. Right now, this is my build until I get something else. I don't even have any exotics, you know what I'm saying? So it only can get better. But for right now, I'm gonna kick back, we're gonna let the music play, and I'm gonna show you how good this build is. Once again, brutal difficulty, solo against the Warbot. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, here we go.
Plan B. All that precious research down the digital drain.
She'll doubtless come up with a plan C and D. In the meantime, I'm pulling my people back. I suggest you do the same, Doctor.
Will do.
I never doubted that together we could defeat AIM here today.